And away we go. It is the aftermath, live from the Cincy Light Studios right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go visit our good friends at Mio's anytime you're up in Clifton. They are on Short Vine, right across from campus. They've got great food. Love the pizza. Love the steak hoagies. Love the appetizers. Deep dish, thin crust, you name it. And they have a wide variety of drinks. And, of course, you can get yourself an ice cold Cincy Light while you're there. So anytime you're in the area, make sure you stop by, say hello, tell them BCJ sent you. All right, let's get this show underway. Special guest tonight. Always love when I get that text around the middle of the first half from Justin Berg that says, hey, I'm available for a post-game show. And tonight, he's available for a post-game show. So here he is. Welcome in Aaron Smith and none other than the legend, Justin Berg. Gentlemen, how the hell are we?
Quite well.
Should have taken the night off.
There you go if you want.
It's fine.
You're here, so you might as well stick around at this point. Bearcats take care of business. Get a nice win over 18-point win over Alabama State, but Wes Miller less than pleased. It was definitely the least appetizing performance of the young season. But you know, they're up by 27 with 4.5 minutes to go, kind of let their foot off the gas, and Alabama State made a little run to end it. But the Bearcats get the 18-point win. It destroyed their offensive efficiency. I think they're down to 26th in offensive efficiency, but up to 6th in defensive efficiency. So metrically, a good night for the defense, not such a good night for the offense, and the Bearcats win. They go into Thanksgiving at 6-0 with a road test at Villanova coming up on Tuesday. I guess we'll start with you, Berg. How you doing, buddy? How the hell are you?
Oh, I'm feeling good right now. That's for sure. How? Oh man, what a first 6 games, and also the preseason game against Ohio State. They haven't had any trouble with any game, no matter where it's played, no matter who they've played. I know there was some rumors about the Pitt scrimmage on the road, or is that who they played?
Yeah, Pitt got them. Pitt's got them pretty good.
Pitt's in the top 15. So, I mean, the rest of the games they haven't had really any issues at all, and it's just weird to see top 25 in offense, because that was what I was just pining for. I was like, I can't do another year of a top 25 offense. I'm not doing it. I was going to give them like 10, 15 games, and if they couldn't get to be a top 25, I was going to be out, because I'm tired of not having a top 25 offense, but they have one so far. And on KenPom right now, they're 5th in defense. So holy shit.
It's nice to have both. You know what? The teams that win the title is usually the teams that have both, or a team that has both. And right now the Bearcats have both. Berg, this is the most dunking team I think that we've seen in quite some time. They dunk it a lot and they make a lot of threes. Like, this is a dream for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, since the Hicks and Maxill front court, that was an all-timer, and just rim rockers. But yeah, they definitely, I mean, with 2 different lob threats in your starting lineup, elite ones, like the tallest kind of one, and then like the highest jumping kind of one. And they have dudes that can just get it in there like Jizzle and just leaving it for him in the lane. When Jizzle gets into the lane, he can either take it all the way or throw the lob or float one, or just stop, gather himself, and then spin off the other shoulder and just stick a nice solid 8 or 9 footer. Like, God damn, what a player he is.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Well, I'm just trying to find Berg's Twitter. I don't even know if it exists at this point.
Did you delete your Twitter, Berg?
I'm out of the social media thing.
Well, that's why I can't find you to tag you for the tweet to say that we're live. That's where I'm at right now. Just trying to produce. No big deal.
That's why I pay you the big bucks. Aaron, what did you think about the game?
I thought they played sloppy as shit. I know Keegan asked the question about how much better the lobs have been for Aziz. I thought this was their worst night for lobs of the entire season. They had some great ones. They had some terrible ones that were reminiscent of last year. I thought shot selection was okay. I thought that some of them were just chucking the ball up. There were entirely too many heat checks for my liking. Just some poor turnovers. I thought that they should have beat Alabama State just on a talent level by about 40. Now, granted, you had a Dylan Mitchell injury. You had a Connor Hickman brief injury. But you're still working Day back in. But all of that, I mean, it was just a sloppy game. I understand why coach was so upset. But it's Thanksgiving, so I'm happy they won.
Perfect time to have your worst game. Like, who cares? I mean, that's why you schedule a bye game right before Thanksgiving. I mean, they didn't shoot well from three, and they took a lot of them. They settled for a lot of them, and they have been hitting them. They didn't hit them, but yeah, you're right. A lot of turnovers, getting blown by quite a bit. So, I mean, plenty for West to get on their ass about, and just give them a few. You could tell they just needed a few days off. They've been going hard since the preseason and the summer and all that. They need a few days. They just had a couple road trips, not really only one road trip really. So, but either way, you could tell they were just kind of mailing this one in, and they got the 27-point lead. And like you said, they just kind of were like, all right, we're out of here. And the other team just started sticking threes and made the score closer. So whatever, I would just throw it out and move on to the next one.
Berg, kind of overall, you have to just be ecstatic with what you've seen from the first, big time talent version of Wes Miller's Bearcats, where he has the roster up to, kind of up to that speed that he wants it.
I'm not ecstatic. It's way too early for ecstatic. I would say I'm pleased so far, and I need to see more. That's where I stand right now. I do like a lot of what I've seen. I like a lot of different options. The thing that worries me the most is the two non-shooters in the starting lineup and probably the closing lineup, unless you need to just pick one big, and then then your rim protection goes out the window possibly. So that's what concerns me. But the other three slots, other than those two, and those two do create some lanes with their cutting and their lob threatness. But the other three guys, you got Seamoss, Jizzle, and either Skillings or Hickman. That's a lot of shot creation from your other three. So the concerns are the two non-shooters, obviously the free throw shooting from one of your key players that other teams could just hack. They could start playing hack Mitchell.
He shot 60% last year. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 17 from the free throw line.
I know. So, but I feel like that's a potential strategy until he gets that shit straightened out. And I'm
for sure
concerned about that. But yeah, I mean, at this point, let's see what they can do. That now they got some real tests coming up in the next 4 games. We'll see what they have. I don't know what. I mean, it seems like they have something, but I want to see. And also they haven't even had Skillings since the first game, and they've still been just handling people.
Those 4 upcoming games, though, Berg, to your earlier point, what better time to have a game where you kind of slack off a little bit and need to refocus and key in on some things than right before 4 games against some much tougher opponents than you've been playing.
Right. But then 20 games against some goddamn way right after that. So, yeah, all right. This is your one mulligan, Bearcats. Now they got to go play Eric Dixon on Tuesday.
Eric and the Dixonettes, like that, he is. They don't have a whole lot else, but boy, he's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's like I always compare the lefties with lefties, but he's like a Randall, but also like a young Zach Randolph at times too.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, the 3-point numbers weren't where we've been accustomed of late. They make 10 of 31. I thought they settled Wes had an interesting talk in his post game tonight about how they kind of just walked off. Like they went under all the screens and they just left guys open, which was a wild thing to do given how well this Cincinnati team has shot the ball so far. But he said it kind of threw guys like the timing off, where, you know, you're used to when you catch, like there's going to be a contest, there's going to be a hard closeout. And guys are just kind of standing there daring them to shoot. I saw a couple times, once from Tyler, once from Seamoss, a couple times from Hickman, where they like thought about it. Like, not like gather themselves and think about it, but like, why am I so open? Like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot. Like they didn't really want to, but they knew they were that open, like they should. So it seemed like it got in their heads a little bit, but like defensively, it felt like they didn't play well. But then you look, and Alabama State shot 30% from the floor and 23% from three, including 21% from each in the second half. And it feels like when you look statistically, they dominated rebounding 52-35. They had more assists. They only turned it over 10 times. I felt like a little bit more, but they only had 3 in the second half. Like the numbers tell the tale of a game that should have ended closer to where it was with 4 minutes left when you were up by 27. But you look and it's 18, and it kind of feels a little disappointing. And the head coach was also disappointed. He made that known at halftime, and then made it known again in anybody that he spoke to after the game.
4 of 15 from layup.
For them, yeah.
For us.
They were.
Whoa.
Oh. Was it?
Oh, it was for them. I hit
for them, yeah. Cincinnati was 11 of 19.
Jeez,
you're right.
No, they
I haven't even had a drink.
They were short arming everything at the rim. Like Cincinnati didn't get a lot of block shots, but almost everything at the rim was altered. They wanted no part of trying to score on the big fellas around the paint.
Another concern I have would be Aziz Bandaogo getting the ball in the post and being asked to do something. I'd rather not spend a possession doing that if possible, if I had my choice.
They did it once, Berg. They did it once. It's okay to do it once or twice.
One too many. I love that, dude, but I'm not here for that.
The reverse dunk, the reverse alley-oop, that was impressive.
What about that? Oh my God.
I think that might be his. Is that his best dunk as a Bearcat? I think this is his best dunk.
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember a reverse alley-oop from the Bearcats since Kenyon his senior year, which I was shocked that he did, but he did one. And I don't remember seeing one since then. Do you?
I remember Gary having one.
A reverse, like two hands,
yeah,
like that? Wow, I don't know about that.
I think Gary or Trey. Yeah. But I don't think it was like this was style the way that Aziz did it. I think this was more like caught it like kind of backwards and just like dunked it. Like I don't think it was like
it was,
Aziz turned.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as much as you can enjoy something. Let's just put it that way. It's been a long time. I want more of those. Can we talk about Tyler Betsy now?
You can do whatever you want, Berg. We're just here to entertain you for however long we've got you.
Yeah, because, me with Eric Hicks, 14, that's my all-time guy. And we haven't had a good 14 since that I can name. So here we go. We have one now. And he's humongous. And he's a dead eye. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so that's who they have off their bench.
He's 10 for 20 from 3 on the season.
And he's gigantic, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen him up close, but he appears gigantic on the screen.
I feel like when they zoom in on his face,
225 pounds.
Wow.
I feel like when they zoom in on his face, I expect him to be smaller, and then they show him like next to people, and he's so much taller than he should be just looking at his face.
He's like Yancey, but he can just like pop threes. Although Yancey could at the end of his
Burke.
size-wise.
Burke.
Yancey's bigger.
Burke. Yancey was 280 pounds. Like
That's true.
Yancey was a little bit taller.
All right,
and
well,
like the size, he had an extra like middle schooler attached to him.
okay, then give me a front court player we've had that's his size that can shoot like no one of them can shoot like that, but that size. Trey Scott was 6'8",
No. Trey
220.
was 6'8", but probably Armin. And Armin was more of a point forward than, but Armin was in that 6'7", 6'8" range.
Balls than anything.
Yeah. But Armin was kind of that tall, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. That at least because Armin's senior year, he could shoot threes and he was feeling it, and he had a good like 4 or 5 game run. We beat Marquette, and then UConn game tears his knee, and that was the end of it. But it was like a glimpse of it. But this guy, at least, when this guy has room, he just lines it up, and you have a good feeling about it as he lets it fly.
Yeah.
Was he he was 2-time Connecticut Player of the Year, right? Like, who else was in?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't he go to UConn? He just wanted to go somewhere else. Kane Brown.
I think they were kind of loaded coming into this class and didn't really like. They recruited him, but I don't think they really pushed for a commitment. And so he went. He went to New Hampton, right, which is where Wes went to prep school.
Oh, that's right.
So the athletic director at New Hampton was Wes's high school coach. So there were, and Kane Broom coached him. Kane's an assistant at St. Thomas, or no, my bad. He went to St. Thomas More, not New Hampton.
Yet another reason.
But
Broom.
I mean,
any reason I love Broom.
Might be a better shooter than Kane Broom. He can light it up. Boy.
Look at Kane when he was feeling it.
I know.
Pop it on anybody.
But no, I mean they did a good job recruiting him. And look, as we're learning, the farther we get into this, never doubt Chad Dollar.
Oh,
never ever doubt Chad Dollar bills. As we'll find out more about tomorrow at noon, hopefully.
Yeah, man. And then Tillery they got for next year too. But all right, so can we go now? Let's go. So 14 Hicks.
I know. I corrected it, Matt. I was wrong.
Now we have a good 14 again. All right. So then 22, Steve Logan, my other top guy, my favorite guy to watch Bearcat history. And now we have an Arrington Page guy from was he from Atlanta? And then he was with Collier last year.
Yeah. So he played AAU with Collier, and they were high school teammates. And then they both went to USC, and then Page matriculated to Cincinnati after that 1 year at USC.
What did you think of him when you saw him in high school in terms of skill set? I mean, we knew he was like a big, long body and all that, dunker and shit.
I mean, he was really good when he played with Collier. He struggled some when he didn't play with Collier, which, when you're used to playing with a guy that can pass like that, and then you don't, I would guess there was some adjustment to that. He has always, and he grew, he continued to grow from his like junior year in high school through his freshman year in college. So he's up to like 6'11". So, it's been a kind of a standard progression for a big man where, like it's going to take a little bit of time for him to grow into his frame and get used to it and really be effective.
I got a comp for him that if he can shoot, like remember when he made that 3 early in the season, how that thing just dropped that right in there. Rasheed Wallace, if he could shoot the ball from the outside, he seems like he has the touch. Like, you think he could be able to face up and shoot a couple of jumpers a game? He gets to the foul line. I like his free throw.
I don't think he's there yet, but I think that part of his game is coming.
Yeah, so that would be the ultimate ceiling for him, would be like a Rasheed Wallace kind of guy that could just step out and hit like Marcus Who am I thinking of?
Can be.
Yeah, no.
It's only Marcus I could think of.
This time, the guy for Portland just stepped out and hit Jays. He went to Texas. Why am I drawing such a blank right now? But either way, Arrington Page seems like, but he also has moves with either hand in the paint. I mean, he takes it strong. He's not afraid to. He gets fouled. I mean, he needs to get better. Sometimes he just forces stuff. Like if he doesn't have it, just chill and kick it out. But I like his finishing ability, and
Marcus Aldridge.
Love him. So now they got a 22 from Steve Logan to Arrington Page. Oh, they had Rashad in the middle of that though. Rashad Bishop, 22.
Yes.
And Coriante.
Big hands.
Yeah.
Big hands.
Marcus Aldridge.
Oh my God! Thank you.
That was in the chat. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Matt's been money tonight. You're crushing
Johnny
it,
on the spot.
Matt wants to know, Berg, better album, Philadelphia Freeway or Hunger for More?
Who's that by?
I don't know what any of that is.
Who's that by?
I don't know. I don't know what any of that is.
Hey, screenshot that, send it to me, and I'll listen to both albums, and I'll let whoever that was know another time.
Matt Offrey. You know, the funny thing is, Berg, it's like the people spoke you into existence. They were asking for you Monday night on the podcast. Like, when are we going to hear from Berg this season?
Yeah, I just I haven't gotten around to writing anything yet, but the landscape season pretty much ended today. Like it's
cold
on
wet
purposes, intents and purposes. We're ready to just pack it in terms of like going balls out for the winter. We still get after it when there's stuff to be gotten after, but it's not as constant every day. So I can step back and do some stuff.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Freeway is by a guy named Freeway. It's a rapper named Freeway, and Hunger for More is Lloyd Banks.
Oh, I've always liked Lloyd Banks, so without listening to him, I would go with Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks. Love Lloyd Banks.
What else you want to talk about, Berg?
All right, I got a weird one.
Usually do.
Yeah. All right, so the forgotten man right now is CJ. He just can't. He's not really in the rotation, and so, however, I would like to point out something that he still does that does benefit the team, and that would be in practice to have to guard a guy like that. That's going to make you a good defensive 3-point percentage team, and they are one. So that's part because of having to chase him around in practice, I'm sure. So that's his value right now. But what do you think it is? He's just physically not ready, or there's just too many other options right now.
It's a little of both. I think their rotation is crowded. There's a lot, especially when you get Dan back, and if you can get to a point hopefully soon where you get everybody healthy, there's just not enough minutes to go around for really 12, 13 guys. And the other problem is the couple times they put him out there, he sprains his ankle when Dylan lands on him. And then at the NKU game, he comes back and he sprains his ankle again. Same ankle. He hasn't had a whole lot of luck because it seems like every time he gets on the floor, something happens.
Yeah. Damn. He's such a dead eye, and we just can't even get him any looks. Like when he comes into the game, I don't know what we're running, but like whatever it is, I don't know how they just stick. He can't get time to set his feet and line one up. It's crazy. Like what? How?
Well, the thing is, when he comes, they don't leave him.
I know. But I mean, there's got to be a way to back cut that, or like set up something for keep him honest, so eventually we can get him open. I don't know. Something we just haven't.
No, you just stand him over there on the wing, and you let his guys stick to him. And you run offense with the other 4 guys, 4 on 4.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But either way, what an embarrassment of riches to have a former, or pretty much could be current 46, 47% 3-point shooter in his career, those years at Iowa, and we don't even like need him. It's crazy to think that. I mean, you with like shooting being at a premium for Cincinnati basketball, to not even be able to play a dead eye like that, that speaks to the depth they have right now, because Connor Hickman can shoot just as good, but he can do a ton of other stuff. So he's playing. And then to have Jizzle and Day-Day, I mean, Day-Day's been wild with the ball. He needs to really settle down. But he's been sticking threes, so it's a weird – I don't know how to feel about him right now.
3 of 4 from 3 tonight, Berg.
Yeah,
4 turnovers. 9 points, 4 turnovers, no
he's
assists.
frying my brain, he is right now, because the turnovers, they're just wild. I don't know what other word to use, but then he's just calmly nailing threes in people's faces. So I don't know what to do with him right now.
There were a couple different points tonight where I thought he was going to take the ball and try and dribble it over his defender.
He probably did, because he got ripped by that Knox easily on that one. That team ripped us quite a bit. Like Jizzle got ripped. That team was quick as shit.
Yeah,
they were. Yeah.
But they couldn't shoot.
No, if they could shoot, it could have been an interesting night.
Yeah. Because boy, couldn't they. All right, so let's see. What else with this team? I think everyone's talked about CMOS enough. He's a great guy to have in your rotation. Smart as shit, obviously offensively. Connor Hickman, that Georgia Tech game, that was quite a performance. He just has,
he backed it up with an oper tonight.
I know, but I like the fact that he's not an over dribbler. He doesn't force stuff, but if he has space to do stuff, he can do some stuff. I mean, he can hit threes at a good clip. Isn't he 40% basically for his career?
Yeah. And
he knows what to do in the paint. I mean, he finish with either hand, or he can pass it back out. Like I think here's my thought. All right. So Skillings, I know, has his surgery, and that was a few weeks ago, and everyone's wondering when he's going to come back. And I know, of course, the game coming up in a couple of weeks is top of mind, but to me, I don't play him in that game. I don't, that's too intense. I don't want to mess his knee up that quick. And Connor Hickman, I feel is better suited for that game out of that slot. That's just my thought. Now, if he does play, then you could play them all and play only one big. But I don't know. I feel like if he doesn't play, I'm not stressed about it. Like, we need him for the Big 12. I feel like we can score enough. It's just going to be a matter of, defensively, he would give you an edge, though. But I don't know. I just like Hickman's, just the way the ball moves with him, and in that type of game against those assholes, I just kind of feel like Hickman might be the better option. So I'm okay either way. If Skillings plays, then hell yeah, let him rip.
If Skillings is healthy enough to play, you play him. If he's not, I don't think you do.
Yeah, he has to have played in a couple games before that, I feel like.
At least one.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, no one's saying he's ready for Villanova, and then there's only one other game before the other game. So he would have to play against Howard and come out of the game healthy.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you really want to risk him against Howard? That's the question to me. It's like, I need him for the Big 12. I mean, it's a knee surgery. I just don't know. So I kind of would opt, if it was me, I would opt to not do it.
Well, it was a minor surgery, Berg, and you know the definition of a minor surgery, right?
No.
A minor surgery is a major surgery is a surgery on me, and a minor surgery is a surgery on somebody else.
Okay.
If it happened to me, it was a major surgery. If it happened to somebody else, that's just a minor surgery.
Yeah, that's funny. Either way, that's where I'm at. But overall, that if you're looking for if he needs to cut the rotation down to 8 at some point, I mean, you feel like it's going to be a tight, strong 8. And they're going to have a lot of size, a lot of length, and a lot of shooting, and a lot of shot creation. Like, comparatively to what we've had in the past, to have two guys and potentially three. I mean, Skilling's. I don't know if he's just a second side guy, which is fine if he is. I don't know if he can just create out of the pick and roll yet, but Jizzle can. Jizzle sure can, and so can Seamoss. So you got those two guys, and Connor can. That you have three, potentially four, if Skillings can do it, guys that can operate in the pick and roll. And involved in that role could be two gigantic dunkers. That's what you have.
I'm surprised you haven't brought up Dylan Mitchell yet.
Yeah, because he hasn't done much more than dunk and rebound, which is fine. But I have brought up the fact that it does concern me, his shooting. And, possessions are going to become pretty important pretty soon.
Well, I would argue he's done more than dunk and rebound. He finishes at a very high clip, even when he doesn't dunk.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And last year, they were terrible converting at the rim. And you've got a guy that career, I think, is like 65, almost 70% converting.
Great point.
At the rim.
And also, you know what he's done also that I've really liked? Create fast
breaks.
Defensively, keep guys in front without fouling. I've seen him do that a lot. He moves his feet real well. He anticipates. He's not cheating. Defensively, I really like him. So I feel like, if you're playing a team that's got a wing, that's really hard to deal with. Like, we haven't had a guy that can guard like a tall wing. Newman was nice, but he was, he was 6'4", 6'5". Like, this dude, 6'7", supreme athlete, and he moves his feet and he's there. So like I like him as a defender. So he's got a lot. I mean, also just his energy wise, you need a guy like that. Like that Georgia Tech game, you can tell Wes was obviously pissed about the rebounding. And he came out, like, just set a tone in that game. He's just like, he's like, y'all, you're gonna have to keep me off the glass tonight. Like, he was there for that. So in addition to the dunking, but sometimes he goes off his left foot and then left hands it, which is strange to me. He's such a lefty that he has to jump off his left foot and dunk with his left hand. How funny is that?
Terry comments on it. I think every time
to do everything lefty, even jump off the foot.
Terry Nelson comments on it. I think every time he does it, he makes sure to mention it on the broadcast.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to be able to become more of a 2-foot guy and then be able to do different stuff than just a left-handed puncher. But yeah,
we got a guy that dunks all the time, but he doesn't dunk right.
His finish tonight, where he was gonna go up to dunk and then ended up flicking it up with his left hand, and then got the foul on top of that while he doesn't make free throws.
I'm not nitpicking his dunks. I'm only just giving him some, what do you call it? Criticism. I'm
just saying finish.
Constructive criticism.
The finish was beautiful tonight, dude, on that layup.
He murders him. It's awesome. He's a left-handed. I want to see him go off 2 feet and do a left-handed leaner sideways. Like, that's what I need from him. Come on, Dylan Mitchell, if you're watching this. Off 2 feet, left-handed leaner. Give me a few of those. Could you, please? I've been waiting for a long time for a Bearcat to do that. But I love everything else you do, man.
Oh, boy. What else do you want to talk about, Berg?
I was watching Dayton and the Maui, and damn, I mean, they got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to be hard to handle as they were last year. I mean, they beat the Bearcats so easily last year that, no matter what you do, you're still going to have a tough one on your hands, you would think. And they just got a lot of ways to score. So that, they got a lot of stuff. Like, they're going to play a crazy schedule. What game can you get me into? Can you get me a media pass to either Kansas or Arizona?
Maybe. Can you not pick the two biggest home games not named Xavier? Like, can I get you in like I don't know, like TCU or something?
Jamie Dixon, get him out of my Get Jamie Dixon out of here. No, thank you.
Actually,
you're telling me you can't get me into the Kansas game? Like, Kansas has never been here before. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of asks.
I mean, that might be why I can't get you into the Kansas game.
Well, then just whoever is in charge, let me buy them a good dinner or something. I'll slip them something. Like, come on. Got to be
like
one seat for me. Give me a standing room only media pass. How about that? I don't need a desk. I got to see Kansas, and I want to see him from a good spot. Please. That's all I ask.
I'll see what I can do, bro.
All right.
I'll see what I can do.
Unreal.
When can you get me in? I need Kansas or Arizona. Can you make a little easier on me?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really interested in anyone else that much in the Big 12. Let me think. Maybe Baylor. That'd be cool.
Oh, let's see. Let's see the home games. We'll go through the home games, and we'll see what. So Arizona and Kansas are the first two. Arizona State.
Nah.
Texas Tech.
No.
West Virginia.
No.
BYU and Utah. That's too many white guys. I know you don't want to do that. TCU, Baylor.
So only
and
Baylor.
Kansas State.
Yeah, I don't want to see Kansas State. Baylor, Kansas, or Arizona. I'll accept any of those three gratefully.
Oh, any of the three top 15 teams. That's all you're looking for.
Yeah. Teams that have won titles just recently or at some point, somewhat recently. But I want to see them. I would love to see them beat Arizona for the first time in my life. I've had some stupid losses to them, obviously. And then Kansas, I mean, I just want to see, I would love to just see them play basketball live if possible from a good seat. Because otherwise, I might be able to get a hookup and get into the building. But otherwise, man, that's some loot to get into that yard for sure.
So next year, not this year, but next year, you should come with us. I know that's difficult for you.
Oh, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. I want to go to Iowa State this year. What do you think about that?
Let's see, when is that game?
It's February 15th.
February 15th, yeah.
Saturday, February 15th.
Skipping Valentine's Day, huh?
You just go the day of, or actually, no, you would have to. Yeah, you would have to. Who cares? If your girl couldn't understand that, then too bad.
I mean, I don't really have one, so we're good there.
Yeah, and Lauren's always cool about going. She's like, you go do that stuff. I want to go to a road game this year, and I want to go to a home game this year. My goal is for it to be Iowa State and Kansas. I mean, come on, Big 12.
I mean, honestly,
I've watched so much Big 8 and Big 12 in my life, and now we get to play these teams. It's incredible. Instead of Tulsa.
Honestly, I mean,
Tulsa.
Iowa State is not as far, it's not as bad as I thought.
It's 8 hours or 9, right?
It's about 9 hours. It's about 9 hours. That's not too bad. That could be a van trip. That could be a van trip.
Right, you leave around lunchtime, and then you get there, you have dinner on the way, and then you post up in a hotel the night before, and then you hang out the day of and just see what the hell Ames, Iowa is. I mean, I've never been to Iowa. What is Iowa? I want to see it. I've just never been there. I always have wanted to go. So I'm going to go and see what the hell Iowa is, and I want to see us play in Hilton Coliseum. Remember that game? We beat them last time? Overtime. Final score 55-54. Mick, turn it loose a little bit. Settle down. West turns it loose quite a bit more, than Mick ever did. But West seems to have built a defense just as strong, despite turning it loose. I mean, I'm enjoying that.
Let's see.
So yeah. Let's do it. Why can't you? Yeah, Bearcat Journal road trip, Iowa State. People would be all over that. Rent something. Get a bus. Have everybody chip in or whatever, so we don't have to worry about driving and have someone drive us there.
No, what I did for Kansas is I rented a van, like a Astro van. And there was me, Taryn, there was 5 or 6 of us. and we just rolled to Kansas to watch them play in the Fog last year.
Man, that's beautiful. I would love to have done that. Isn't Kansas's campus like just so underwhelming? That's like there's nothing there. I drove through there once. I was like, and also what's its name? The building just looks like this weird brick building of nothing you would ever think was an arena. Then you go in there. I'm sure I didn't do it, but it's probably like the Fenway Park of arenas.
It was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It was awesome. It was a really getting to watch a game there was really cool. I mean the Verbos look a little pricey.
Do they play at Arizona State this year?
No, I think they come here and we don't go there. Yeah.
They don't play either Arizona team in Arizona?
No, they both
well,
play
that's
here.
Bullshit. I mean, didn't you think they're not thinking? They could have got so many Cincinnati fans to go to Arizona. Why wouldn't the Big 12 have done that to give at least one? I mean, neither one of them. So Cincinnati fans would have gone to at least one. I guess they're just going to have to do it the following year. Just too big of a effing conference. It's crazy. There's like 87 teams in this league. Colorado and Arizona State now? What? Wild stuff. But at least it's not South Florida on the road anymore. Thank every Lord there is. South Florida on the road was like having your nuts stomped repeatedly. God. I went to a couple of those because I have buddies who live in Tampa. Tampa sucked. Every time I went there, I just didn't have a good trip, and the Bearcats lost to a dumbass team. My buddies still live there, like two really good buddies growing up in college and stuff. And I'm not going down to Tampa.
Oh boy. John wants to know if you burned one, Bergie.
No, the answer would be that's false. I burned two.
Oh boy.
Well, all right. So the rest of the non-conference, you got Villanova, Howard, Xavier, and then what? Somebody else?
At home?
Don't they have one more bye game after I'm sorry, Dayton. Okay, so Villanova,
Grambling
Howard.
State.
So they have 6 non-conference games left. They've played 6, correct?
They have 5 left. They played 6.
5
you get 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So we're thinking, 4-1, you're feeling real good. 5-0, you're, probably can't contain yourself if you're a Bearcat fan. But 4-1, would be incredible. 3-2, you would still have a successful enough non-conference to put you in position for the NCAA. So they've done it. They would I think that would be where they'd be at. And then obviously they'll have to finish, whatever 500 or better in the league somehow. So many games against those teams, but that's where they're at. So I feel like 4-1 should be what they're, if the Ken Palm numbers are accurate, because the Ken Palm numbers say they're one of the 10 best teams in the country, and they're not playing anybody ranked ahead of them in these next 5 games. So you got to feel like 4-1, at least Ken Pomeroy believes they will go at least 4-1. So if they don't, then I will be concerned. Right now, I'm pleased, even delighted at what I've seen, but I'm still not sold yet. Remember in Straight Outta Compton when Eazy-E was like, "I'm not sold, Dre." Like when he wanted him to do that that first that Boys in the Hood. I'm just not sold yet with 2 non-shooters. I don't know. Against Xavier and Dayton, those teams score at a high clip like when we play them, and don't like having possessions with guys who can't shoot. But only time will tell if the bench and the defense will offset that disadvantage.
Yep. You got anything else you want to talk about tonight, Berg? We're maximizing our Berg. Aaron and I do this all the time. So whenever we get Berg to just riff and go, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I figure once a month is probably about enough at this point. potentially twice
right.
a month this winter. And then I want to write something too. I mean, I haven't know yet, but I also haven't had an extended period of time where I've just been able to sit and not have 100 things to do each day. So now I can kind of just exhale and start typing.
You want
There
to
you
come
go.
put a fence in, like finish a fence at my house?
I have a guy that could easily.
Okay.
I won't.
Well,
I don't personally know how to do that. I just have found guys that do.
we could sit on the back deck and watch.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah,
and entertain ourselves.
okay. Well, yeah, I'll bring the crew, and I'll come hang out.
All right. What's up, Natty Ron? Natty Ron, meet Berg. Berg, meet Natty Ron.
Natty Ron.
He lives in Arizona. He's a big Bearcat fan.
Well, then he's pissed off because there's no Bearcats games in Arizona. Sorry, Natty Ron. What kind of horse shit is this? Terrible financial marketing people that with this schedule. Come on.
For some reason, I think you and Natty Ron would be best friends. Natty Ron lives in the chat. He loves the chat. He's the king of the chat.
Nice. Well, we got. So we'll check in. We'll check in after the after they get through the next few games, and we'll see where they stand at that point, and we'll keep it rolling. Aaron,
it was good to see you.
Appreciate it. CB,
For sure.
keep doing it. Talk to y'all later.
It was good to see you, brother. We'll talk soon.
See you, Bird.
Thank you.
Peace.
Well,
I don't know how you you follow that.
it was a good dismount.
It was a good dismount. It has been a pleasure. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. You got an extra special Berg After Dark. And what are we gonna do? Are we gonna do a show Friday and just like squeeze all the shit in that we didn't do?
Like the Big 12.
And three keys and
three
like all that
keys.
shit.
Well, we did talking, so we're good there.
Yeah, we are good
So
there.
it's
we got two shows to make up.
It's just the 2 shows, and we can combine those easy. It should be
Okay.
pretty cut and dry what the 3 keys are.
Yeah,
Offense, defense, special teams. Done.
right. Like,
You need to do
don't suck.
all 3 things.
I think it's just going to be 1, don't suck. 2, don't suck. And 3,
Pack the nip.
I might go with don't suck. And then that's 3 keys. So we'll check back with you guys at some point Friday. I don't know when, but we'll make it happen. Bearcats 77, Alabama State 59. We'll see you next time. That's the Aftermath, brought to you by Mio's, live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com. See ya. Thanks, Berg.
Happy Thanksgiving.